Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and intriguingly, a follow-up from Math Pesto. Now, if you've watched my videos intently, and why would you, you will know that Math Pesto was the constructor behind the puzzle that took me over an hour and a half to solve. I'm still not convinced I missed much in it. That's how hard it was. I mean, I dare say I was slow, obviously, but still, it was very hard. Now, Math Pesto wrote back because I pointed out he hadn't followed all our submission guidelines and said, thank you for doing the puzzle anyway. He was really surprised to find that it was so difficult, and he has followed the solution guidelines thoroughly now. And we are going to try another puzzle by him. I think I'm being very brave, but I'm looking forward to it. So we'll get to that in a moment. Of course, I want to mention our Patreon site, where you can look at Grockel's Heatwave, which is the August reward, and really interesting set of puzzles to do there. Some fantastic Sudoku. Slightly harder, I would say, than Jovial's last month reward, but really, really rewarding. So do give that a go. Very interesting set of puzzles there. Now, also, of course, we have all our apps. They're all available on the links under the video. As always, the Sudoku pad that Sven has developed, which you can find by playing one of our puzzles and clicking in the top left. And just so much going on, as always, on Patreon, on the channel, on the apps, the book coming out soon. I mean, it's all great stuff. So let's have a look at this puzzle now. We've got, it's called Kropki Cages. And be careful with these black and white dots in the puzzle. Normal Sudoku rules apply and digits don't repeat in cages. So far, so normal. Now, what's defined as adjacent cages are cages that share an edge. So these two are adjacent to each other because they share an edge. Let's find some that nearly do but don't. Maybe there are, yeah, these two are not adjacent to each other because although there is a corner that they both touch, they don't share an edge. Now, if the adjacent cages have sums that are consecutive, like these two, they have a white dot between the cages. If adjacent cages have sums that are in a 1:2 ratio, there is a black dot between the cages. Now, look at that wording. That says that there is a black dot if there is a 1:2 ratio. So if there is no black dot, there is no 1:2 ratio. If there is no white dot, there is no consecutive sum of the cages ratio. But we're not looking at the individual cells being consecutive. We're looking at the whole cages having consecutive totals. I think we've done a puzzle like this somewhere before, but honestly, my memory fails me as to how it worked, what it was, who it was by, so I apologize for that. But really interesting rule set. I have to say, I'm fascinated by this cage, which is all within one box, so its shape doesn't matter much. It must therefore be its total that matters, but it doesn't have a white or a black dot, so I guess the negative constraint will apply somehow on that. Anyway, I'm really looking forward to this. Do give it a try on the link under the video. Here we go with Kropki Cages by Math Pesto. Let's get cracking. And how do we start this lunacy? We need to find, it's often black dots. So this is a 1-cell cage connected by a black dot to a 4-cell cage. So this could be, this surely has to be twice that. Yeah, that's obvious. But I suppose this could be 10, 12, 14, 16 or 18. So that could be 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9. Then this is either twice 10, 12 or 4, no, either twice 10 or 12 or half 10, 12, not 10, half 12, 14 or 16 or 18. Actually, that's not all that helpful. This will probably be half whatever this is. I don't know if this sequence is useful. It doesn't look as useful as I expected it to be. This one is a 2-cell cage, a 3-cell cage, and a 3-cell cage. So maybe the black dots aren't that helpful. We've got this cage, or this box rather, which has got, I don't know what that means. Oh, sorry, right. We've got a 1-cell cage connected by a white dot to a 4-cell cage. Now the maximum for a 1-cell cage is 9. The minimum for a 4-cell cage is 10, and that therefore must be what we're getting here. So then this is either 8 or 10 because of the white dot. But this cell is 5, 6 or 7. It can't be 8 if 10's the maximum here. These are from 1, 2, 3 and 4, but don't know. So this is 8 or 10. It's got a black dot to here, so that is either 16 or 20. It can't be 4 or 5. That's not enough. So this is again 8 or 10. It must have the same total as that. Let's colour them green. I don't know what the number is, but they must have the same total, be it 8 or 10. Then this has a total of 9 or 11. Oh look, there's a long chain of white dots that comes all the way round into box 1. Now, what I mean by that is this total is 10. Let's make green even cages. Those two are the same, and we know that's 10 or 8. So I'm going to make even cages green. Now that has to be odd. Then this has to be green. This has to be odd. And this has to be even, which is green. This has to be, this has to be odd, and it's got 5 cells. Hang on, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yes, this must be 15, which is odd. Let's make all the odds orange when we know for definite. That's got to be even. These two are both even because they touch an orange, which is odd. This is now 16 or 14, isn't it? So that's, well, that's pretty big. If those are even, and we know this is odd actually, I do know that from the white dot here. So if those are even and this is odd, there is a secret about each box, row and column. They all add up to 45 because that's the sum of 1 to 9. Now, that is an odd number. Subtract an odd number and you've got an even number. Subtract an even number, which must be the total of those two even numbers, and you've got another even number. This must be even. That is 2 or 4. That cell I'm talking about, not the box this time. It's in an odd box, but it's an even cell. And that's because this has to add up to 45. In fact, 15. So these are either 14 or 16. They don't have to be, they could be the same. That's very important to note. And this is 9 or 11. So at the maximum, 16, 16, 14, 11 is 43. This becomes a 2. That's close to helpful. But it's one even digit away from being helpful, because it doesn't prove that these are both 16s and that's an 11 and that's a 2. Since this can be a 4, that could be 9, or one of these could be 14. That's close to being very helpful. Right, but we do know the sums of all of these cages because we've got to get round from 10 to 11 there. This is 12. Look, I'm just going to sneakily, put in pencil marks that are representing the sum of the cage. 12 there, 13 there, 14 here. Right, this one, there's a 5 in one of those cells, and this is 14. So that has to be 6 and 8. It doesn't help so much with 13, 12. This one is either 12 or 14, and that's going to leave only 2 possible fills for this cell. So if this was 12, 24, 37, this would be an 8. If this is 14, we've got 39 in those cells, and this is a 6. So now we've got an 8-6 pair there, weirdly. So that's 12 or 14. And these are consecutive. So the makeup of the bottom row is either a 12 or a 14 cage here. So if it's a 12, these add up to 33 using the secret. So one is 16 and one is 17. Or that is a 14 cage, in which case these add up to 31, and one is 16 and the other is 15. So these cages are either 15, 16 or 17, and one of them is 16. Now, do we know? We don't. This is going to be twice that, we decided. So this is even. I don't know why green is even. Oh, but this could either be the same as that or four times it, if that was 5 or 6. No, look, this can't be a 5 now, rather amusingly, because this can't be 1, 2, 3, 4, because that cell wouldn't fill. That's nice. So this is 6, 7, 8 or 9. Let's at least do that. That I know nothing about. This I know is either, well, it's definitely even. It's either, what is it, 16 or 20. 8 or 10 doubled. So it's definitely even. I don't think that's really going to help me, but I do know it. The trouble is, because I don't know whether this is double or half this cage, I don't know much about its parity. Oh, hang on. No, but the trouble is with these two, one is odd and one is even, but I don't know which one connects to this cage. So I'm going to have to do some other work. Oh, this can't be 9. That was foolish because we've got that 1, 9 in the grid there. So this now is either 12, 14 or 16. The only way for this to be double that is if it's 12, and then this is 9, 8, 7. 24 there, 12 there, and that's not going to work because that has to connect to a 13 or an 11, but these are from 15, 16 and 17. So that is not double that, it is half that. So this cage is the same total as this one. It is either 6, 7 or 8. It's definitely got a 1 in it, therefore, hasn't it? And that's not a 1. So it's 6, 7 or 8. This one, I suppose it could be 3 or 4 if it was half. No, then it can't connect to a useful number here. So it's, right, so it's double 6, 7 or 8. It can't be 12 because these are from 15, 16 and 17. So it's got to be 14. Oh, or 16. Oh, bother. But that can't be 6 anymore. This is 7 or 8 now. And this is 14 or 16, so it's even. And this is odd. And this is even. And there was a 16 amongst these, wasn't there? I'm sure I worked that out. Let me just check that. This is either a 14 or a 12. If it's a 14, we have a 16 and a 15. If it's 12, we have a 16 and a 17. This is definitely 16. It's 9 and 7. We know their order. That's lovely. But this could be 15 or 17. Oh, 6. So if this is 14, it's 8, 6. If it's 12, it's 8, 4. That's got to be right. Oh, and this is 16 now. No, this is 14 or 16, and it can't be 16 anymore, so it is 14. Right, I've got it. Sorry to be slow there. This is a 7, so we can make it orange for odd as well. This now has to be a 3, I think. It sees 1, 2, and 4. So this cage could have been 8, but it can't be that anymore. It's now a 10 sum. Either 352 or 361. That can't be a 6 because of this 6/8 cage. That's beautiful. So 352 there. That's looking over here. We get a 4 there. We can't have 3 and 5 there now. Suddenly we're getting some real action in this. We've got 4, 9 and 7 to place in these cells, but that one can't be 9 and that one can't be 4. Wow, this is so interesting and clever. That is a naked single 7 because it sees 6, 8 there and the other 6 numbers in its box. 6 and 8 are a pair there, so we've got a 6, 8 pair there and a 6, 8 pair there. Now, that's a 10 sum, this is a 20 sum, and that's 10 again at the top. But this is not 9, 1 or 2, 8. It's not 9, 1 because of those 9s, it's not 2, 8 because of that. So it's either 3, 7 or 4, 6. But there's got to be an 8 up here somewhere, so it's in one of those 2 cells. This is 20, so we can't put 6. 6 again is in one of these 3 cells, but it can't be in there because this cage would need another 6 to make 20. So that is 6 at the top. And we know how to make up that 10 sum there. That's gorgeous. Now this adds up to 20 with an 8. The other 12, I suppose they could be, they can't be 9, 3 because of those 2 9s. So 7 there and an 8, 5 pair. And if I haven't done anything wrong, we're getting quite a good bit of progress. That's 1 or 3. This has a 9 in it, and it otherwise is from 1 or 3. That can't be 2. Oh, that can't be 4. Now this cage adds up to 11. 2, 4, 5. Does it have to be 2, 4, 5 now? Yes, I think it does. Yes, it does. So we can put the 4 in there. That's a 2, 5 pair. 3 and 1 are a pair in those 2 cells, and I don't think they're resolved. Actually, we can place 4 in this central cage now. Yeah, that doesn't do much else. That can't be a 3. One of those is a 3. That can't be a 7 now, which hasn't fixed this triple. This adds up. Oh, that's 7, so that had to be the same as this. So that's 7. That does fix the triple. Lovely. 4, 9, 7. Now, I still don't know these identities, do I? This adds up to 12, and it can't have a 9 or a 4 in it, so it's a 7, 5 pair. This adds up to 13. That's a bit harder. Just not having a 5 or a 7 in it, probably. Oh, it's definitely got a 9 in it, because look at those 9s ruling out all of those. So actually, yes, it's 9, 3, and 1. It's the only way to make it up with a 9 in it. Now, 4 must be here in the box. 2 must be in one of these cells. But 12, 13. This either adds up to 14 or 12. And therefore 2 goes with either 6 or 8. Well, it doesn't go, 6 or 8 doesn't go here because of that 6, 8 pair. So that's where 2 is. It's not here, but I don't know whether that's 6 or 8. But we're getting quite a lot of stuff done. Now, 5, 7 pair looking at that cell. 4, 3, 9, 5, 7. So we've got a 1 and a 2 in this cage with either 6 or 8. And wouldn't you know it, that brings us to the 2 possible sums of 9 or 11. I really like this puzzle. It's so interesting. Now, this makes up 14 and doesn't have a 3. Now, I'm going to suggest that means it's got to have a 1 and a 2 in. Let me just think about that. If it didn't have a 1 and a 2, could it be 1, 4, 5, 6? No, that would add up to more than 14, 16 in fact. So it has got a 1 and a 2 in it. And the good thing about that is it fixes this cell as a 4. In fact, it's got 1 and 2 in it, 3 and another 11. Well, it's got to be 5 and 6, hasn't it? Yeah, it has. So that's a 1, 2, 5, 6 cage. 5 can't be in that row. 6 can't be in this row. So 6 is one of those two, and that fixes this as an 8. That's a 6. 8 to complete the row. 9 goes in here. 3, 9, 4, 1, 2. Just not sure how. I don't think we've got enough information to get at this yet. I don't think I've used the negative constraint. Maybe I've forgotten it foolishly. This can't be 14. No, I don't. I think it's going to come into play here. That's what I think. I've thought that for a while. Oh, maybe these are 16. One of them is 16. The other is 14 or 16. Oh, I don't know how to resolve this stuff. 5, 7, 2, 1. Okay, we've got a 1 in one of those cells and a 1 in one of those. That's using up the 1s. Yeah, this must be a 1 because there's no 1 there. That's the simple way of doing it. Right, I should have spotted that ages ago. Spotted it now. Good enough to use. 1, 9 pair there, looking at that. That fixes 2 and 5. That fixes 7 and 5. Now, along here, we've got a 6, 8 pair and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can fill in 9 and 7. That's 4 or 6. That's 4, 6 or 8. Is that going to fix this? I bet it's not. I'm sure we'll still have all the possibilities, which are that this adds up to 15 or 17. So, yeah, 3, 5 with a 6 or an 8. One of those is 4. Okay, so let's... this cage, which is consecutive to 7. So it either adds up to 6 or 8. And this is 5, 6 or 8 by Sudoku. Well, it can't be 8. And it can't be 6 because that can't be a 2. So it's a 5. But this is uncertain. That's a 1 or a 3. But that 5 sorts out that as an 8. 2, 5. Oh, what a puzzle. I'm really impressed, actually. Really impressed. This is very interesting. One of those, that's from 6, 7 or 8. That can't be 3 or 5. One of those is a 7. That's not a 6, obviously. This adds up to 8 or 6. 6, 8. Oh, that 2 sees that 1 and 2 pair. Sorry, I hadn't spotted that. That fixes 9 and 1. So in this first column, I've got 5 and 3, and I can put them in. Right, and this is either 16 or 14, but that can't be a 6 now, so that's an 8. That means this is a 1, 2, 6 cage. Great. That means this is an 8. 6, 8, 6, yes. That can't be a 2. I'm just tidying up some stuff here. No, that's all. I get to tidy up that cage. 8 and 6. That does sort out 4 and 8 here. Now we can do 6. 3, 5 pair left at the bottom. 1, 2, 6, right. 7 and 9. That makes 16 as well now. That can't be a 2. We've got 1, 3, and 6 left in the row. I still don't know what that cage is. I suppose I know it's even. I haven't bothered marking that. Might as well do it. 3 is looking at that cell now, so that's very handy. That can't be an 8. So that's not 7. And that's not 1. And that's not 6. Chocolate teapot triple going on there. It's all going to get resolved somehow by this, isn't it? That's mad. I almost can't believe that that's going to happen. Let me, right, put in, okay, that's 1 or 2. 9 has to be here. So we're getting everything very narrowed down. Neither of these can be 8, actually. There is an 8 there. That's 2 or 6. So there's a 4 here. Wow, what the heck have we got going on here now? Oh my God, no. 5, 6. Oh, look, if this was a 1, this cage would add up to 6. But that would be a 2 and that would be a 6. And this cage would add up to 12 and need a black dot. So that's a 3. Isn't that gorgeous? But it hasn't, or maybe it has finished everything. That's a 3 now. No, it hasn't finished everything. What the heck's going on now? Oh my God. No, we're not going to use it. That is incredible. If this was a 6, you'd have a 2 and a 1 in the cage, and it would make a 7 cage, now touching an 8 cage, and need a white dot this time. So this cage has no black dot or white dot, and you need both of those facts to disambiguate it. That is, I mean, literally, I'm going to stand up and clap. That is epic. I cannot believe that that cage has been used for both negative constraints once each and is necessary to complete the puzzle. What a brilliant finish. That is one of the best finishes ever to a puzzle. I love it. I love it. That's deep genius. Well done, Math Pesto. And that really is a worthwhile puzzle. I mean, thank goodness it's not an hour and a half, just less than half an hour. But I have enjoyed the finish of that. That is absolutely brilliant. Lovely, lovely stuff. Thank you so much, as always, for following the channel. I hope you had a go at that puzzle and enjoyed it half as much as I did, in a ratio of 1 to 2 as much as I did in any case. That was just good fun all the way through, especially at the finish. Absolute brilliance. Lovely. Hope to see you again soon on the channel, and bye for now.